I am Beverly Rhine, and I have been a member of Zion for about 22 years in that time frame. I came to Zion by an invitation by Pat Kale, and in a matter of a year or two, I joined Zion because I knew I fit here. I felt comfortable here. I knew the Spirit was here. I was bullied in grade school and early high school. I isolated myself, became very introverted, and did not date a whole lot. So the first man that came along, I married him. He was a man of bad character, and he was unfaithful. And after 17 years of marriage, I found out that God didn't want me to remain in a marriage like this. I am a child of a king, and he wanted me to have a good life. I stayed in my marriage for 17 years because I believe that I was taught that you're married till the day you die. And then I learned that a death could be the death of a marriage, an emotional death, a spiritual death. And I decided to divorce. And I went into the darkest time of my life. Over a 2-year period of time, I had to sell a home. I had to move. I had to put a dog down. I had a car repossessed. I had to file bankruptcy. There was insecurity at work with my job. I was diagnosed with clinical depression, anxiety in the late 80s, and I still kept coming to church because I believe in God. I believe, God can solve all things. With God, nothing's impossible. I was sad a lot of times. I would cry in church because I would see families come in knowing that I would never have that family. It was the death of a dream. I kept coming to Zion. I kept coming to church, and I got involved with the Women's Garden Group, and I got to know the women, and I got to know people in this church who nurtured me and helped me grow in my faith. My faith has grown substantially by coming to Zion, and I'm very happy for that because I've just learned how to pray, and I'm a devout prayer. I believe in God. I believe that God answers prayers. He's answered my prayers throughout the years. During the darkest period of my life with the depression, with the help of friends and my faith, my belief in God, I took another step to just trust, to get up, to move, to do something, to get active. It was a struggle, but I was able to do that, and I kept myself going. I met Lori in the early 1990s, and I bought a little home in '94 when I started college. The last few years over the holidays, my mother and I would go down and make the dinners, and the whole family, we would be there and spend time together because I was very close to Lori. Did not know Gary very well. I knew the girls, they knew me, and I always just thought that Gary was a dork, to put it mildly. But after Lori passed away, Lori's sister lived in Chicago, and I always went out to Chicago for my birthday in May, and she called and asked me to come out. Well, she invited Gary too, and we both went out on the same flight. And that was very awkward. And I'm like, okay, we'll take another step and see where this goes, being next to him instead of Lori. But over time, we started to fall in love, but I kept denying it, thinking, what will people think? Lori was my best friend, and I was told that a lot of people meet that way. And it gave me the faith again to just keep moving forward. And when Pat asked me, how do you feel about Gary? And I answered, I love him. She says, well, what's the problem? I took another step. When Gary asked me to marry him, it was taking another step on a journey in my life to be able to trust that would this marriage work? He was married to my best friend. And even though the girl said it was okay and his parents said it was okay, there was that doubt there. I was afraid, but I trusted God and I moved forward.